tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Bradham and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Ziffy. I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing. Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SB, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Bradham in the morning. Marques, Bradham, Justin, Emery.
Yo, I something hilarious just happened behind the scenes, Marcus. It was so funny you don't even know that it happened. So I've told you before how I see like the preview screens on my end since I have all the feeds up here.
Mm-hmm.
It was counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I go, oh man, I'm really thirsty. Let me grab a drink real quick. So I take a chug of my water bottle. I look down right as we're coming out of break. What are you doing?
I
was like, oh God, do I need to bring us into the intro?
Every time.
So
the NBA finals are over.
Yep.
Golden State Warriors defeat the Boston Celtics. 6 games. NBA champions, 4-time NBA champions. Stephen Curry, finals MVP, deserved.
Casinos lost a lot of money yesterday, Marcus.
Yeah.
They Golden State in 6 was the most popular futures bet going into the series. And obviously it won, as well as Steph winning MVP was the highest pick for an MVP on the winning team. Actually, the highest handle overall came in for Tatum to win MVP before the season's series started, because people thought the Celtics were going to come and do some things, obviously. But casinos lost a lot of money yesterday, Marcus. They lost a lot of money on Golden State going from not making the playoffs to getting bounced in the play-in game to winning the title in a 3-year span. Casinos lost a lot of money on that.
This is the age-old story of, for me at least, of maturity winning out over immaturity. I think Boston had a lot of opportunities to win this series. They had a lot of opportunities to, take care of business, and they just didn't. And it all went down to it all boiled down to their immaturity. You saw that in Game 4, you saw that in Game 5, and you saw it in Game 6. Game 4, when they had a chance to really put a stranglehold in the series and go up 3-1, they collapsed, get outscored. They don't score in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. They outscored 17-3 for that final stretch, and they don't score for the final 5 minutes. Game 5, they get off to a terrible start. They're down 12 at halftime. They come all the way back, battle back, play really well, and then they implode at the end of the third quarter going into the fourth quarter. Game 6, get off to a nice start, go up 12-2. They, in turn, watch Golden State rattle off 21 consecutive points.
Yeah.
So it was just maturity over immaturity.
The longest run in an NBA Finals game.
Yeah, Boston wasn't ready to take that step. And I take this back to the Sixers a little bit, because here's the problem for the Sixers I see out of this is that, so Boston, yes, they didn't win the series. However, they're still garnering experience to make them better in the future.
And we talked about this like 2 weeks ago. Their core is intact for years to come.
Right. Where the Sixers still are stuck in mud in the same spot they've been for the past 5 years. Boston has climbed. They've been in they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were in the second round. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now they got to the NBA Finals. So eventually they're going to break through. And this is what you hope, for the Sixers. But again, them being stuck in mud, we are at the point with them where we're not going to appreciate them getting to the Eastern Conference Finals next year. Like, we just want them to get to the finals. Like, that, them getting the Eastern Conference Finals next year does nothing for us where we're at with them now, which is, a frustrating place to be. But this is what happens when you don't climb those levels and keep pushing forward. Jason Tatum had a really bad series. The numbers are going to say otherwise, but if you watch the games, he did not have a great series. Did not help him. I think he scored 2 points in the second half yesterday.
Mm-hmm. 5 turnovers.
Yeah, and let
me pose a question.
I've watched him. 1 second. This is the most I've watched him throughout his career. This is the most consistent I've watched him throughout his career because they've went on a long run, and obviously they're in the finals now, so you're watching every game. I gotta tell you, he needs to develop a better low post game. He has no moves down there. Like, he has a Euro step, and that's it. If the Euro step doesn't work, he's basically just trying to hope he can plow through you and get to the basket. That's his whole entire offense down low. And he's too skilled a player to have such a bad move set down low. I know he works with Drew Hanlon, and I'm like, listen, he can shoot the ball. He's really comfortable with the mid-range jump shots, which he didn't take a lot of. But with him driving to the basket is flat ugly. And Golden State saw that, and you saw what happened. Pretty much every time he grabbed the basket, they either got their hands on the ball or he turned it over. Jaylen Brown was out there fighting for his life yesterday. I mean, he played as well as you possibly play. Marcus Smart had a really bad game, and defensively he had a bad game.
Foul trouble.
What are you doing putting Al Horford on an island with Steph Curry? Like, how does that even happen? And, like, we're talking, like, he's not trying to fight over screens. He's just allowing Al to go one-on-one with Steph Curry. Well, of course it's going to end well. Role player-wise, they didn't get enough production from their role players. They just didn't. Golden State's role players started off rough. They turned it around. Jordan Poole woke up. Wiggins woke up. And Draymond Green had his best game in the series last night.
Almost fell into a triple-double.
Right. Where Boston, you got Grant Williams, didn't play well at all. He got basically nothing on him. Peyton Pritchard was non-existent.
Unplayable.
Yeah. Derek White was inconsistent. He had his moments, but not enough to propel them. Marcus Smart was inconsistent. Jason Tatum was horrible. Listen, it's a learning experience for them. They're going to learn and come back better and more prepared. They just weren't mature enough to beat this Golden State team. So what was your question?
So first, for too much foul trouble too early for Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Smart and Tatum both had 3 fouls with more than 4 or 5 minutes left. Well, Smart had 3 fouls before you could almost blink.
Right.
But Tatum, I think he picked up his third about halfway through the second quarter. Give or take.
Yeah.
They got into some foul trouble early, but Kerr put him on the bench. Poole came on, lit it up.
Yeah.
And then that was able to preserve Clay's minutes. And you saw obviously how that helped push them through the first quarter, and then they were fine coasting through the rest of the game. My question for you is, maybe outside of Draymond Green, take just the starters for both teams. Okay. Leave the bench players out of it for the sake of this question. Out of just the starters on both teams, besides maybe Draymond, who played worse than Tatum in the series?
In the starting lineups or
yeah, just starting lineups.
Probably. I mean, man, that's a tough one. I got a couple names in my head, but I guess the guy I'm most disappointed in besides Tatum in the starting lineup is Marcus Smart. I don't think, especially defensively.
But the thing is that you expect more things out of Tatum than you do out of Smart. Like, you expect a better game.
I think Tatum was the worst of the by far the worst.
Like I said, besides maybe Draymond, it's just Draymond had such a monster game 6.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I don't want to say I'll take one great game versus 5 mediocre to bad games.
Yeah.
But he was just so dominant yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, he played really, really well.
I mean, that was Draymond of, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Yeah, he was everywhere, and like he was effective.
19.
He was effective everywhere. He finally makes a three.
Did you see? Did you see the two bets that cashed for him? First basket 20-1 odds, cashed. Him to hit 1-3 was like plus 800. They both cashed in the first quarter.
Yeah, you're a happy man.
Yeah, if you went in on Draymond yesterday, number one, you are certifiably insane.
Yeah.
Secondly, congratulations.
Yeah, first basket Draymond's an insane play. That's just got money to burn.
Yeah, you've seen the parlays on Twitter. People hit like first baskets, like 4 or 5 players.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes better be lucky than good, Marcus.
Facts. It was a good final. Not as good as I thought it was going to be. Just because I thought that Boston wasn't quite as ready as I thought they would be. But entertaining. I gotta tell you, I look at this Golden State Warriors team. I don't know how people out there can say that this Golden State run does not hurt LeBron James' legacy. Like, he now doesn't even have the best dynasty in his.
Well, the thing is could you even say that he had a dynasty? Because he moved, he was like a personal dynasty. Because he moved around to too many teams, in my opinion, to say that LeBron.
Well, the Heat would be the team I'm referring to.
Yeah, but they only won 2 titles, though.
Only a 2. Yeah, I mean,
LeBron was like a personal dynasty because what he played in 10 straight titles,
9 straight finals,
9 straight finals,
yeah,
8, 9, something like that.
Yeah,
he was a personal dynasty. Now, did he win all of them? Obviously not. But he still, to think for a decade, you could rack him to go to the NBA Finals is insane. But I wouldn't say that.
I still feel that that's overrated. That he went to 8 straight finals because the East was just so bad. It was such a bad conference. Just a bad conference. We're talking, and it just so happens he chooses to leave the East when the East starts to get really, really good. The East was horrible when he went through those finals. Who were his challengers? You had that Toronto.
Yeah, you can say that about any team in history, basically. There is no team besides maybe the Celtics, if they would have won it this year, that faces juggernauts every round, every year in the playoffs.
I'm not talking about every round. He faced no opposition at all. What was his opposition in the East those 8 years? I'm not talking. Yeah, you're gonna have some patsies especially when you're a really good team. But if you're playing an 8th seed, you're gonna have Patsy. But you're usually gonna get a tough second round opponent or a tough Eastern Conference Finals. You go back and look at the betting during those times. I mean, it was not even close because what happens is the Derrick Rose Bulls, they're out of the way. They were supposed to be the challengers. You had the Paul George Indiana Pacers. They never matched up. Never happened there. It was bad. It was just bad. It was pretty much that Toronto team that wasn't very good, that he kept beating up every year. LeBronto. that was
great.
Yeah,
that was one of the best things, LeBronto.
Yeah, I mean, that was basically it. Because the West at that point was so stacked, and the East had nobody. You're talking, you had an Eastern Conference that
it's not his fault. The Eastern Conference sucks.
No, of course it's not his fault. I'm just saying I think that stat's a little overrated because the East just was not a good conference at all.
No, I mean, listen, you're saying at minimum. I want to get the exact number. So for the sake of this, let's pause this exact conversation till Monday because I want to pull up the exact number because you're not taking into account how many extra games did he play over that period of time.
Oh, a ton.
I mean, at minimum, 4, 8, 12, 12 times 9, 99, 100, at minimum over an extra season.
I mean, the last time he went to the finals, which was like 18 with Cleveland, that was impressive because that Cleveland team was just not very good at all, and like it was amazing that he got them there. And they actually beat Boston in the East Conference Finals, but Boston, they were puppies. They weren't ready for that. However, it was still impressive that he figured it out.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you that this hurts LeBron's legacy for saying that he doesn't have the best dynasty. I don't think that you're giving enough credence, though, to just longevity, how impressive that is for 9 seasons to make it to the finals. Like, I think that you're knocking it too much because of the opponent and not putting enough emphasis on just the longevity of the feat.
Maybe, but
like your previous point, like your main point about the hurting his that's extremely accurate. There's no
yeah,
no
this is just
that
like we now, like, Steph now has 4 rings, and what's stopping him from getting 5? Like,
That was the question I was going to ask you. I looked at the favorites for next year. They're favored only plus 300 to win.
Now the Clippers will be healthy.
Yeah,
I mean, their roster still is elite.
Yeah, but Kawhi's going to play his 25 games. Paul George is going to play his 40 games. What's stopping them from winning it again?
Right.
Like, what was it? Wiseman where's he at?
Yeah, he'll be back next year. I mean,
yeah.
I guess they probably decided to shut him
down. I understand he's injured. I get that.
Yeah.
But my point is that, like, that dude didn't even touch the court, and at no point in time,
did it matter?
Really, since Game 4 started, did you think the Warrior? Well, obviously you picked the Celtics to win Game 6, but really, you felt the avalanche starting to build.
Yeah, I was worried after they lost Game 5. I knew the Warriors had what it take to go close them out of the Garden. Like
they already had 3 rings.
I was more like, I even said that if the Celtics go 3-2, I think the Warriors can go win on the road, and they probably will. They'll go 7. I was like, but if the Warriors win Game 5, I'm worried that they're gonna close this thing out Game 6.
Yeah,
and they did. And listen, me like picking the Celtics, and like I just I love the way they're built, but like the Warriors are not a hateable squad by any stretch of the imagination.
It's because everybody's been drafted.
Yeah, they're home. It's a homegrown, and that's the nice thing too, is that they are a homegrown dynasty. Kevin Durant came and joined there, true, but he joined a homegrown dynasty. They already had one before he got there.
Like, it's so hard. Like, you want to hate teams that win a lot because it's good in sports to have a villain.
Yeah.
And usually the teams that are winning turn into the villains. Obviously not for their home respective fan bases, but for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
But in this case, it is just showing you that if you do your job right and you're half decent at it, you'll get what you want. So how can you be mad at that? They're literally showing you, hey, if you draft good and develop good players, you'll win dynasties, as long as you can do that over a sustained period of time. How do you get mad at that?
Right. So Wardell Stephen Curry III, 4-time champ, 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, All-Star Game MVP, 8-time NBA All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, 2-time scoring champ, steals leader once, all-time leader in threes made.
Do you happen to know how many seasons he's played off the top of your head?
2009, so 13 years, I think we're at now. 12, 13 years in that RAM. Which he'll probably, I mean, the shape.
I was just curious how many years he's played versus how many All-Stars he made. That was just what I was trying to figure out.
The shape he keeps himself in, he'll be able to do this for 3 more years at this level. Then he could probably do 2 to 3 years where it's a little less than this.
I'll be honest with you, from a physical standpoint, he looks like he's in better shape now than he's ever been.
Right.
I don't remember him ever being this, like,
ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's upper body, he's got stronger.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now you worry about because he's had ankle issues going back to his Davidson days.
You don't
So
want to
you
put
worry
too much
about the
weight on
toll
that frame.
Yeah, you worry about the toll that'll take on him in a couple years. But I mean, like I said, like and also too, next year you're getting a healthier Clay. Like you'll get a full season Clay. He'll get a healthy Clay. He'll be able. It's not going to be rehab this offseason. It's going to be working on his game and his body. So that's going to help you. Like there's no like they have a great shot to do this again next year.
They do.
They really do have a great shot to do this again next year. Like they
Now-
are. I mean, they got to be the favorites going into next year.
Now I'm going to. I was listening to all the late night sports talk shows last night, so that I could get kind of a vibe of the first reaction of what people were thinking after this before I came in here today.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I still don't put him as a greater player above LeBron. I think LeBron has more accomplishments to his name. I mean, yes, they have the same amount of championships, but LeBron has accomplished more than I think Steph has.
Yeah.
But here's where and most people didn't have him above LeBron. So I don't want to act like most people. Most people didn't have him above LeBron.
You shouldn't.
No. And I think even if he wins it next year, you still don't put him above LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, the conversation gets closer and closer.
Oh, I understand. But
like, if he plays 5 more years, could he get 2 more?
But like, look at it. LeBron's what, like an 18-time All-Star? Steph would have to double his current career right now to just match that.
Right.
LeBron is what, 5 MVPs? He's
but
got more.
You also take into consideration LeBron's played 20 years.
Well, I get that, but you're saying that do you think in the next 5 years Steph's going to get 3 more MVPs? I don't.
No.
Do you think in the next 5 years Steph's going to get 8 more All-Star games? Obviously, that's not possible. So no. So like, I don't think he can achieve outside of the championships what LeBron has done. Even if Curry plays 20 years, which I mean, he's played 13. If he plays another 5 to 7, who will play 20 years?
You know what's sad? I was just sitting here thinking about the general. Steph Curry is what Allen Iverson would be if he had good parents.
Okay.
Like think about it though. Think about it. If Allen Iverson had a good background, had two solid, and not that mom didn't try her best, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like if he had 2 good parents and got off to a nice solid life, didn't grow up in Newport News, he's Steph Curry.
Okay, I can see it. I'm not going to push back against it. I think it's crazy that the Warriors had 4 players on their team that had dads that played in the NBA. That's
so wild. So wild.
Like,
it's insane.
Of course, it helps with the mental preparation for it. And
he's been around the NBA since he's been a pup. Like he was shooting around and in Charlotte with dad. Like Alonzo at the dunk contest of what was it, 96 or something? Alonzo Mourning literally is babysitting Steph and Seth. He's sitting on their laps. Like he's watching them. Oh, because Dell was in a 3-point shooting contest. I watched them. He's sitting there babysitting both of them, and they get interviewed. Like that does something for you.
Yeah. So where do you stack up Curry against Tim Duncan? And where do you stack? Now I know what you're going to say, but like I said, this is just what people are out here talking about. Where do you stack Curry up against Kobe?
No, he's not Kobe yet. He's not Kobe. He's not Kobe yet.
Because a lot of people have him not yet LeBron, but past Kobe and past Duncan. Duncan's a very difficult person to evaluate.
Yeah, like that because they play such different positions. It's hard to have that.
No, I just mean in the history of the NBA. Duncan is like I mean, he's a 5-time all NBA player.
Yeah.
He's arguably the best player in the history of his position.
Yeah.
But like when you're ranking the top players in NBA history, he just goes right over your head.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of
Think
like,
about
how I've said before, I don't think that Kareem gets enough credit as
no, he does
being
not.
the GOAT.
No, he doesn't.
Like, I don't know if I would necessarily put him as my GOAT, but he doesn't get enough consideration in the conversation at all.
I've told you before, he's the only argument I will listen to. I will listen to someone say Kareem. I can't just poo-poo Kareem. I'll listen to that.
Not Bill Russell.
Yeah, I just like because here's my thing with Bill Russell. So everyone, the big conversation the past couple weeks is if Steph wins this, he's a top 10 guy. Who gets out of the top 10? Bill Russell's already out for me. He shouldn't be a top 10 NBA player because at the end of the day, is not just rings. Yes, championships do matter. I do think championships matter, but it's about the rings.
Chips have to matter. Chips can't not matter.
But it's about the accomplishments with the rings. If your accomplishment don't like, is Steve Kerr a Hall of Famer as a basketball player? No, he had 4. He won 4 rings. But he's not going to go to the Hall of Fame as a basketball player.
5.
No, 4 of the play. Oh, right, 5 of the player. Right, because he won 3 with the Bulls and 2 with the Spurs. Right, 5. He won 5 rings. 5 rings as a player. Is he a Hall of Famer? No, it's not a Hall of Famer because he doesn't have the accomplishments to match with the rings. Now he's probably gonna be a Hall of Famer as a coach.
Yeah,
he'll probably go in the Hall as a coach, but as a player, no, because you don't have the accomplishments match. Like Bill Russell does not have the accomplishments to match the rings. He just doesn't. And like to me, he's like the NBA's version of Joe Namath. Like Joe Namath is really in the Hall of Fame because he guaranteed a Super Bowl victory. You look at his numbers; they're horrible.
No, no, you can't say that because
not good numbers.
No, they're not good numbers. But I'm saying Namath has 1 title. Okay, we need a better comparison for.
But like the thing is, but that's is different because the NFL.
Like if anything, I would say a better comparison would be a Troy Aikman.
Take Tom Brady out of it. In the NFL, it's way harder to win a title than it is in the NBA. So 1 title is like 3 to 4 titles in the NFL.
So that's why I said let's use Troy Aikman as a better example. Multiple rings and
I think Troy Aikman deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I like him in the Hall of Fame more than Joe Namath.
No. We're not talking about Hall of Fame. We're talking top 10. Remember that. We're talking top 10.
Okay. People have Troy Aikman in their top 10?
No. That's what my point to you was. Okay. Like we're not talking about Hall of Fame because Bill Russell deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. That's not what the topic was. The thing was, is Curry going to get in the top 10 and Bill Russell comes out? That was what it was. I don't think that Bill Russell is in the top 10.
No, he's not.
It's like I don't think that people should consider Troy Aikman in the top 10 for quarterbacks, but people do because he has 3 rings. I think it's a better comparison to compare the Troy Aikman and Bill Russell championships and achievements stacked together than someone like Joe Namath, who literally outside of that 1 year, would he have even sniffed Pro Bowl status?
He was a good-looking guy who at that time had an all world swag, the fur coats in the commercials.
I mean, he was what year was that? 1970
Super Bowl?
Yeah, 68 or something.
67, 68.
Like let's just call it what it is. That was what was that? 55 years ago, approximately.
Something like that.
He was Joe Burrow 55 years ago. Let's just call it what it is.
Swag wise, yes.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like the persona he put out there, he was Joe Burrow 55 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. But in his personality, absolutely. But like, and listen, that was a very important moment in football history because you had the AFL against the NFL. The AFL was given no chance. Blah blah blah. They come out, they win the game 16-7. He guaranteed victory. It was a huge moment. I get all of that, but you look at his actual numbers. He is not a Hall. He's no, just no. His numbers are terrible. He was an average quarterback for the majority of his career.
Okay, I mean I don't disagree with any of that. What you're saying, I don't I just don't think Namath to Russell's a good comparison.
Well,
I think that you need to you need to compare a better player than Namath, because I don't think Namath was that great of a player, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess you're right. So Wilt, I keep in, even though as hard as I am on Wilt, he's a top 10 player of all time.
Has to be.
That's not what I've ever been saying about him. I never said he wasn't dominant and great for his era. I've always
like pump the brakes.
Overrated is always a buzzword for people because they don't actually know what the word means, and it doesn't mean. In a lot of cases, doesn't mean you weren't good, you weren't effective. It just means the way people talk about you. Calm down, bro.
Just because you're not number 3 and you're number 8 doesn't mean you're not top 10.
Right, exactly. But Wilt's in my top 10. Obviously Larry Bird, Jordan, obviously LeBron. These are your top 10 guys.
Kobe.
I'm not taking any of those guys out. Kobe. I'm not taking any of these guys out. So the odd man out
in your top 10.
I mean,
how about Shaq? Is Shaq in your top 10? Or how about
I think Shaq's top 10.
Tim Duncan? Is he in your top 10?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily need you to give me hard yeses or no. I'm just
Kevin Durant.
Names
Durant is interesting.
It
might be a no for me in top 10. He might be on the outside looking in, like 11 or 12. And that's just based on now the accomplishment side of things.
So what I'd like you to do, some show between now and the start of training camp when we have some time to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the season's completely over, all the awards have been given out and everything, I'd like you to come up with your official going into this upcoming season, your top 10 players all time.
Okay.
And if there's going to be some active guys on there, if things happen, where can some things move around?
Yeah, I think Steph Curry's now cracked that list. I think he's in the top 10 now. I don't think you can not have him in there now with his because with him it's just so much. It's the rings 4, but now it's his impact on the game and how he has single-handedly changed the game of basketball. You put that on, he's part of, as you stated, this is the greatest dynasties of Chicago Bulls. Spurs might have something to say.
Yeah, I would say outside of the Spurs, this is the best dynasty in the past 25 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Yes, in basketball.
And Spurs have 5.
Have something to say about that.
Spurs have 5 in the from 99 to 2014. But the Warriors, but here's the thing about the Warriors.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Spurs go 5-4-5?
No. They lost the Heat 1 year.
Okay.
They lost. They're I think they're 5 out of 6.
5 out of okay.
Because they went in 99, 03, 05, 7, 13, 14. I'm missing one. Was it 2? Was 2002?
I'm just pulling it up real quick.
No, 2002 was Lakers. I think it's 99, 3, 5, 7, 13, 14. That's 6. Yeah, that's 6. That should be the years. 3, 5, 7. 99, 3, 5, 7.
99, 3, 5, 7, 14 was the wins. 13 was the loss.
Yeah, yep. That's what I said. Yeah. So that's 6. And they won 5 out of 6.
5 out of 6.
Now, here's the thing. That's 15 years.
Yes.
So the Warriors have won 4 in 7. 7 years.
4 and 8.
4 and 8.
Well, 4 out of 6 in 8 years.
Yeah. So if they can get one more in like next year, or they have a couple years to play with, you got to give it to them because they're in a far better pace than because the Spurs went 7 years without an appearance, where the Warriors have been in the finals
almost every year. That if Clay can walk, they make the finals.
Right.
I was watching the game last night with Sarah, and I was like obviously, my affinity for Klay Thompson. Anybody that listens to the show on a regular basis knows my affinity for Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
So I had to tamper it down a little bit, but she goes, so you know, I'm like, yeah, this is the 4th title, 6th. She goes, well, what happened in those 2 years? You know, where he wasn't there. I was like, Clay.
Yeah.
She was like, well, what makes him so good? I'm like, if he has to, he'll drop 30 and then he'll turn around and pick up your best player for 94 feet for the whole game.
Right.
And I was like, is he better shooter than Steph? No. Is he a better all around
motion than Steph?
He's got like the most flawless motion.
If I was teaching my kid how to shoot, I would not tell him to shoot like Steph Curry. Steph Curry has a very wild release where Clay is like those videos that like Herb McGee put together in the 80s. Like perfect. The follow through is perfect. The knees bent, the lift on his everything is perfect for that jump shot.
He may not be a better overall defensive player than Draymond, but he's the perfect blend of both, and he will go out there and do it for 48 minutes if he has to.
And you got to give him credit for what he did this series in being able to pick up Jaylen Brown in spurts. Because Jaylen Brown was cooking Draymond Green for a lot of the series. And one of the adjustments the Warriors did for spurts, they put Clay on him. And that wasn't happening early in the season. He was doing he did a pretty good job dealing with Jaylen Brown. And that,
what I need from Clay though, the haircut, man, it's gotta go.
I love 70s Clay.
No. It's gotta go.
70s all out fro Clay. I enjoy it.
No.
Headband.
No. I'm okay with the headband, but the hair's gotta go. Like,
well, but you can't have the headband without the hair.
No,
I hate the headband with the short hair. There's nothing that makes me angrier than a bald man with a headband or short hair headband.
Wait, who was the guy?
The hair out for the headband.
You don't like the guy from the Nets then? The bald guy that had the headband? The guy that was
Carter did it.
No, the guy who was punking Ben Simmons in that playoff series.
Oh my gosh. He was an idiot. Jared Dudley.
Yeah, so you're not a fan of Jared Dudley then?
No. You don't need a headband if you're bald, bro. Take the headband off. What are you doing?
Oh man.
Gotta have the hair flowing. So they have a really good shot to be the best dynasty since Chicago Bulls. Mm-hmm. And if you rank them in order, they would be for me number 2 in dynasties all time. I guess
in any sport?
No. I was just speaking strictly.
Okay.
And maybe like the Lakers will have something to say. The 80s Lakers, they won 5 in the 80s. 5, so
Celtics will
5 in 10 years.
Radio.
No, they weren't as dominant in the 80s because of the Lakers. So I think they only get they win 2.
I wasn't talking about those Celtics. You gotta go back a little bit.
I was talking about the 60s. The 60s. No, okay. They can't be in the conversation. I'm talking modern NBA. Modern NBA is 80 and up. I don't want to hear about your dynasties in the 50s or the 60s. I don't care. Sorry. All due respect, I don't care. So modern NBA, you have the Bulls, the Warriors, the Lakers, the Spurs. Mm-hmm. I think those are the best dynasties from 80 to now.
Yep.
And right now, the ranking for me is Bulls, Lakers, and Spurs and Warriors are tied right now, in my opinion, just because the Spurs did it over the course of 15 years. Mm-hmm. So I think 4 and 8 to me weighs more than 5 and 15. So
okay.
Right now they're tied, but the Warriors have a great chance to jump up, and then we'll have that conversation of, Warriors Lakers, 8 Showtime Lakers.
Let me ask you this:
2 Warriors,
hypothetically, okay, Warriors get 6 out of 8 in 10 years. Do they jump the Bulls?
No, because the Bulls did it 6 and 8. Bulls did it 6 and 8, and also 2. You got to give the Bulls credit for 2 3-peats. The Warriors have yet to have 1 3-peat. So that dynasty can't be touched unless someone does that. They had 2 3-peats in the same decade. That's insane.
What if they get a 7th ring before it's all said and done?
if you go 7 rings in 10 years,
No. Say it's 7 in like 12 years. Like, let's say by the time Steph and Clay hang it up, they get 7.
3 more rings in the next 7 years.
But just whenever it's all said and done. Let's say that the trio of Clay,
Steph and Draymond.
walk away with 7 rings when it's all said.
Well, Draymond, I think, will be out of there with the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think that he's the one that leaves first.
He'll be out first because they'll give up on him first.
And the way that he plays, his body will break down first.
Yeah.
And let's be honest with you, he's not as good as the other ones. So as he ages, his skills will drop.
At some point, it's going to be Steph, Clay, and you hope Wiseman. Wiggins is still young, and you hope Jordan Poole keeps growing and turns into an all-star. And then, you hope you surround him with the right bench pieces to keep this going. It's going to be tough to get to 7. If they get to 7, then okay. 7 and 12. That's impressive. That's very impressive.
Especially, let's say they've made it to another 2 or 3 titles. So let's say they've won like 7 out of 10 in 12 years.
Yeah. That's very impressive. I find it hard to believe that's going to happen, but it'd be very impressive.
I think you can probably lock them in for 1 more. I think you can assume they'll get at least 1 more.
They're going to get 5.
Now,
if they're fortunate, they're lucky, they get 6.
But I think you can assume they'll get at least 5.
But it has to happen in the next 3 years. If they're going to win 2 more titles, it needs to be 2 out of the next 3.
Where do you put Steve Kerr with 9 rings now?
Okay.
I'm trying to say, like, who are his peers? I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, he's in.
I understand. I get that, but not all rings are created equal for him.
Yeah, he's in the Phil Jackson conversation because Phil is 9 as a coach.
11, doesn't he?
Or so 6 with the Bulls,
5 with the
yeah, he has 11.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's in that conversation. That's a lot of winning.
Yeah, but Steve's are 5 and 4.
Right.
Jackson's are 11 and
no. I don't think he got any other player. I don't believe
he did either.
Because he wasn't on. I don't think he was on that 70s Knicks team that won. I think he came just after that, or maybe he won. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any as a player. No.
So Kerr, as a coach.
Oh yeah, no, he does. He's got 2 as a player, 70 and 73.
So he was on 70. Okay.
Yeah, and he was also So
he has 13 total.
He has 13 total. He's got 11 and 2. Oh, it's a bad job by me.
Well, wasn't the modern NBA, so it's fine. When it comes to Steve Kerr, I'm gonna use that word again. Here's that word, everybody. As a coach, he's overrated. Sorry, he is.
Let's say we all know who built that team.
Mark Jackson. And it's still,
with all due respect,
this is a hill I'm prepared to die on, that Mark Jackson should have never been fired. And I believe that if Mark Jackson's allowed to continue to coach that team, we're still here. I don't think Steve Kerr did anything differently than Mark Jackson would have done. He already declared Steph and Clay the greatest shooting backcourt of all time in 2013. Yeah. They played 2 years in a row in the playoffs. They ran to the Spurs. What do you want him to do? The Spurs were ridiculous at that point, and the Warriors weren't ready to win yet. They weren't there yet. They go out in the offseason. Also is Andre Iguodala and give Steve Kerr him, and then you have Steph, Clay, and Draymond all grow up. And
a lot of it though is that he also all the stuff behind the scenes. Like, he was not an easy person to be around.
I'm sure, and Steve Kerr is. He is. He's a very easy guy to be around. You can tell. I don't know. That always a sore spot for me. And Mark Jackson didn't get a chance to win with that squad because he basically built that team and said, yeah, we can build around 2 guys that shoot a lot of threes. Like, that can happen, and we can be successful doing that.
And we got a guy.
I'm in the NBA. Everyone's like, "What? You're gonna have your two best players shoot 500 threes? That's never gonna work. What are you talking about? Look at the NBA today.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it, and it's all from that blueprint that he created.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, as a coach, I believe he's overrated. He's a good coach. Obviously, he has to be. But you know, who wouldn't like to coach Stephen Clay?
Dream come true, right?
Right. Like Phil Jackson's a little different because I believe that Phil Jackson taught Michael Jordan how to win. And
Yeah.
Phil Jackson went in there and had to make some difficult choices. He's like, yo, Mike, listen, man, you're the best player on the planet. We get it. You can shoot 50 shots if you want to. You can average 40 a game.
You got to play within the system.
Do that, we're not going to win. You need to play in this system. Like, this system works, and you need to do this because this is going to help us win. Steve Kerr never really had to do anything like that. Like, sit down, the best player on the planet, Michael Jordan, and say, yo, this is what we're going to do.
And then he turned around and came to LA and did it with Shaq and Kobe.
Exactly. He does it again and teaches them how to win. And had to pretty much have a similar conversation with Kobe. And then you have Kobe and Shaq, and you have to deal with Shaq, you know, in and out of shape.
Yo, I could only imagine if like social media was like it was now then.
With the Shaq and Kobe beef?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because because you would see videos of probably Shaq doing Embiid-like things.
Right.
Cheeseburgers on the massage table.
Shirley Temples.
Exactly. Like you would probably see Shaq doing those things.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Phillies blew the Nats out yesterday.
Oh my God, yeah.
That game was over fast, wasn't it?
I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of it because I was watching the finals, but like I turned it on. I watched the first inning as 0-0. I turned back as 9-1. I was like, what?
Yo, I'm going to give you the craziest stat line I've ever seen in baseball. You ready?
Okay.
Patrick Corbin's pitching yesterday, okay? 1.2 innings, 7 runs, 0 of those runs were earned.
It's a wild stat.
When was the last time you heard a stat line like that?
You don't usually. You don't. Well, the Phillies,
7 unearned runs in 1.2 innings.
As bad as things have been against the Marlins with the Phillies the past couple of years, it's been really good against the Nationals.
I'm glad that we've gotten our second ballpark back.
They beat the holy hell out of the Nationals consistently. It's always been that way. Except
attitude.
Yep. Also, too, a nice, unbelievable walk-off win. Garrett Stubbs blast one in orbit.
Yo, I didn't realize that dude's like 80 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, he's the tiniest catcher I've ever seen.
He reminds me of Dustin Pedroia out there.
Yeah, as a catcher. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, he is tiny. Yeah, I mean, playing really, really good baseball. I mean, no complaints on that end at all. Got to show him love. A weird 5-game series in Washington. Let's get 4 of them. Yeah,
you don't see 5-game series very often.
Let's get 4 of those things. We got a doubleheader today.
No, I want to be greedy. Let's take them all.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Let's take them all.
And the Mets are betting.
And the wilder thing is the Braves still like 15-0 in the last 15 games or something?
Have they lost yet?
They were at least 13-0, Marcus. I know that.
It's not fair. Of course, the Phillies decided to go.
I looked at it in 13 games. They went 11-2. The Phillies.
Yeah,
they fell 2 games in the standings.
It's ridiculous. The Braves are 10-0 in their last 10, so no, they have not lost yet. They're at 10 games over 500 now.
But what are they in their what's their streak? Should tell
it has to be like 15 now.
Yeah, all right. So they're 15 straight. Beautiful.
So the Phillies are 2 games over 500. They're 8.5 back. The Braves are 4.5 back.
The Mets are like, what is going on here?
Yeah. What is happening? We're 19 games over 500. We got to this great start. What's happening? But yeah, listen, man, I'm just excited that we're gonna have fun baseball that stretch. It looks like knock on wood.
In a row. It's 14 straight.
14 straight. It looks like knock on wood. Nick Castellanos is waking up a little bit.
Professional hitter.
His first hard hit ball on Wednesday. He hit one hard. I got excited. I was like, okay, hard out. Here we go. And then he had a double last night. So if he gets hot, look out.
Did you see his
Schwarber's out here with 2 bombs.
Yeah.
yesterday.
Did you see Castellano's son at the Day Marlins game?
Yeah. You could tell that kid's a menace.
Oh yeah.
I love Nick Castellanos and the Castellanos family. You could tell that kid's a menace to society. You could tell in all the best ways.
We will sit here one day and we will talk about how Nick Castellano's son went to the same high school as Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, that might be a thing.
That we will be definitely talking about.
That. Yeah, that might be a thing. But yeah, a little sadness today. The NBA season's over.
Yeah, we're about to be into the doldrums, so I guess we'll let everybody know some programming news moving forward.
Yeah.
Until the week of July 25th, which is, I believe, exactly 4 weeks from this upcoming weekend, or next week, we will only be doing the show Mondays and Fridays. We're taking Wednesdays off during the better part of the next month because it's just not going to be a lot going on. We're taking some vacation time like everybody else does in the sports media industry during that period of time.
So I'm not going to put you on a spot, but on Monday,
yep,
I'm not sure if you're following it. The Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith situation.
No, not at all whatsoever.
We got a little beef between Skip and Stephen A.
Okay. I'm going
to set it up. I want you to go check it out and watch both interviews, so you can give me your synopsis on Monday.
Okay.
So I'll set the scene for you. So
this has to be recent. This has to be recent.
It's very recent
because they are extremely tight,
and they still are. But okay, let me lay it out.
Okay.
So Stephen A. goes on JJ Regg's podcast,
Man 3,
and talks about the origins of how he got on First Take, and tells a story. Basically, tells a story that the show was struggling a little bit, and they were Skip Bayless had taken it all he could take it, and he basically went to Stephen A. in the parking lot and said, "I want you on First Take." And then when they went on, the show's been #1 ever since. Skip Bayless Skip Bayless down the podcast himself.
The Skip Bayless Show, which is it's I don't know if you listen to it. It's a good show. Like he has he's been doing this for 50 years. He has great stories.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need his rambling monologues. Sometimes I'm just like, where?
Listen, I need you to carve out an hour because Skip talks about this for an hour about First Take and the origins of First Take, how he met Stephen A.
So, but does he keep it on? Yeah. Okay. Sometimes he can go off.
It's vastly different than Stephen A's story, and it's interesting behind the scenes stuff of what was going on with Stephen A. Behind the scenes at ESPN before he got on First Take. Now there is a Breakfast Club interview that surfaced from 2019 where Stephen A. does tell a story very similar to what Skip said on his show. So I don't know what happened here, but Skip's like, and he prefaced said, "Listen, this is my brother. I love Stephen A. I love him to death, but this just isn't accurate. I'm going to tell you what actually happened." And he was like, "I was really upset." Apparently, Ernestine, his wife, sent him the clip of Stephen A. talking about on JJ Regg's podcast, and basically like, "What you going to do, Skip?"
Mm-hmm.
Skip's like, "Let me get my podcast and my bling on and show y'all what's up." So if you guys are out there, I definitely advise you. I didn't know it was an hour I didn't know I was going to spend. Like I ended up turning on. I saw the clip of Skip talking about Stephen A. I'm just figuring, he's just gonna big up him, thank him for shouting JJ Regg, and it was not that at all. I was like, whoa. So I went and watched the entire episode, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Well,
now Stephen A. has released a statement, which I have said the only time he's going to talk about it, and I'll read that on Monday after you watch all of these clips.
All right, I'll be on there.
Yourself for 45 minutes for the Skip rebuttal, and watch Stephen A. talking about how we got.
I have no problem listening to Skip if he can just stay on course.
He didn't. He did it. He had papers.
Okay, yeah, no. If as long as he can stay, because sometimes he'll just start talking and rambling, and I'm like, all right.
No, it was interesting stuff. It really was. Like he had me the entire time.
Because sometimes when him and Shannon are going back and forth, by
Yeah,
the end of his point, I'm like, I don't even remember what the question was anymore.
yeah.
So as long as he can stay like on
Right,
course,
right,
I'll listen. I don't mind listening to Skip.
right. Yeah. So we'll talk about that on Monday because that'll still be alive on Monday.
Oh,
Talk
okay.
about it on Monday. Monday. Also, I want to get into the new sponsorship of the NFL. The new pizza sponsorship of the NFL. I'm gonna get that on Monday.
Can you believe that somebody out Pizza the Hut?
I can't. And also, I want to get into Jake
Phenomenal.
Fisher's article from Bleacher Report about the Sixers offseason. Because we do have that approaching. So we'll get into that on Monday also. So Monday,
I believe Thursday is the draft.
that soon?
Yeah, I believe Thursday.
Yeah, you're probably because free agency is usually the free agency is the 30th this year. So you're probably right.
Yeah.
And those guys got to get ready for summer league too. You got about because you knock it from that date, it's like probably like 10, 11 days of summer league.
So yeah, summer league's the 7th. It starts.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so a lot to do on Monday.
Yep. Before we get out of here, I got just usual stuff to get out of the way. Got a couple birthdays. We'll start off with Kendrick Lamar. Happy birthday!
Yeah. Just recently put out an album. Drake. Do you know Drake dropped last night?
Yeah, I don't need to hear it from all the.
What is this?
Did you hear all the what's the word I'm looking for? Reviews, critique, and everything.
It's a no.
Oh, I don't even think I'm going to waste my time listening to it. Chad tweeted, "Man, I didn't bother downloading it. I don't want to run the risk one of these songs actually pops up on shuffle."
Is this a mixtape or is this an album?
It's an album, but apparently it's like heavy, like
emo Drake,
like reggae Drake, and like house music Drake. Like it's. I didn't listen to it, so I don't want you to think that I'm giving you my review, but just it's collectively on Twitter.
He has one feature on here.
Collectively on Twitter, this is a hard no. So
all right, I'm gonna check it out after. Eminem drops a song last night with CeeLo Green.
Oh, okay.
Off the Elvis Presley soundtrack.
That's interesting.
Jailhouse Rock sample. I don't know. Am and I listened to the couch last night. We were like, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, I probably won't listen to it.
I don't know him.
I'll let you give me the review. Like, if you say Drake's gonna be a thumbs up on the album, I'll listen to it. If you're like, nah, don't waste your time on it.
I'll get into it today. Game was supposed to drop today. Drillmatic, which the highly anticipated diss of Eminem, Black Slim Shady. He'd be doing a whole press run on Marshall. Yeah, he's been doing an entire press run on Marshall for the past like 3 months. He went on Drink Champ saying he's a better rapper. He wants to see him in verses. Then he said he has a diss song on the album for him. He says he wants all the smoke. He said M's a great rapper, but he ain't better than him. So let's see it, Game. Where you at?
Well, I'm not sure this is something you want to do.
Listen, I will say this. Marshall Mathers has quite the the reputation. I'm very interested to see what he does here in this situation. Because let's really be honest. Yes, Marshall can rap. We all know that. But let's look at his beef resume. Okay, it's Mariah Carey, it's MGK, it's Benzino, and Ja Rule. Everybody in hip hop was jumping Ja Rule when M went at him. Ja Rule's getting jumped by everybody. Busta Rhymes, 50 Cent,
everybody,
12, G Unit. I got in, had a couple bars. My mom said something. Grandma had something to say.
The guy down at Target had some lines for him.
Hey, Mama Sarah from down the street had a couple bars for him. Everybody was jumping Ja Rule at that point in time. So I don't know if we can really count that one. So listen, the Game, is he a better rapper than Eminem? I don't know about that, but the Game is a really, really good rapper. And the Game is a formidable opponent. Nick Cannon. Eminem, you like after all of that, you can't like if Game comes at you, I'm gonna lose respect if you don't come back at him.
Well, no, I don't think that there's any way that he won't.
I'm
saying that like
he
what does he have like what does Eminem do all day besides just be like, I think I'll just diss people?
He plays Pac-Man and then writes bars.
Like, I'm not sure that this is something that you want to do.
Yeah, but I want to see.
I want to see it.
I want to see it.
But I'm not sure this is good for your. This is the best move for you.
Probably not. You're probably right. But I gotta see it.
I want to see it.
I want to see it.
I want to see it, and I want to see it even more if it.
I want to see Marshall versus Jay Sean.
Yeah, like
Jason. I gotta see it.
isn't it just Jason? I think you just pronounce it Jason. I know how it's. I think it's just pronounced Jason now.
I don't know about that. I think he pronounces Jason.
I don't know. I'm pretty. Anyway.
Anyway.
Few other things. You know who DJ Stolen is from 2011? You remember this story?
No.
So it's this 15-year-old kid in UK who somehow hacked a bunch of major music labels' computer servers, got a bunch of unreleased music from some of the top artists of the time. This is, remember, 2011.
Yeah.
And sold them to various outlets across Europe. He made about $13 million in an 18-month span doing this before he got caught.
And arrested. Sent to jail.
Oh yeah. Heavily prosecuted.
That's seized.
Yes. But
he has a good Swiss Alps bank account.
Yeah. But a 15-year-old kid. He went by the name DJ Stolen. Nothing like incriminating yourself, right?
Right.
A couple things in the sports world that happened today. 1992, Sixers trade Sir Charles Barkley to the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, what a sad day for Marcus Brown that was. I know I cried. I'm not even gonna sit here. I know I did. Like Barkley was like, for me, my childhood heroes were Randall, Charles. Phillies, I didn't really have a childhood hero. Like I liked, obviously the '93 Phillies like that, but they were not great in the '80s. I wasn't a huge Smith guy. But Randall and Charles were my guys. They were my guys. I was so sad when they traded Charles Barkley. So sad.
94. You know what happened on this day in 94? Major. One of the wildest moments in the history of television. You know what it was?
What's that?
OJ and the Bronco.
Against the Knicks Rockets.
Was it game 5? I think it was.
I'm not sure of the game, but I just know that was a wild. That to me, the O.J. Simpson trial was the unofficial beginning of reality, the ideas of reality television. And like this could be. Now it took Survivor to make it like a national thing, and that was like 5 years later. But that was the first kind of experiment with reality television in the sense that like. Because I remember we were watching those trials. We let out, so I was in high school when the OJ verdict happened, and they let us out in the lobby. They rolled a TV out, and literally the entire Central Bucks West school is in the lobby. We're talking like 1,500 kids jammed in the lobby for this verdict, which is insanity. And we're all standing there waiting to hear what happens here. Like that, like we all watched it. Like that's the first time I watched anything in court. I didn't know. Like that was the first time I literally would come home, court TV. What happened on OJ today? What are we doing on OJ today?
Oh man,
it was just a wild time that kind of set the stage for television as we know it today.
Yeah, I was like 5, so I don't even remember.
Right. Yeah. Television you know it today was set up by the Simpson trial.
And then this day, 2010, Kobe gets his 5th.
Yeah. The defense Kobe game. Bad, terrible shooting game. Meta World Peace. Drains the 3 late. Gives that ring.
Yep. Also on this day in 1885, we get the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
Couple of some other birthdays to get to. I didn't get to all of them. Venus Williams. We also got Amari Cooper.
Okay.
And Barry Manilow, who I have to say, his place that he has in Vegas, the best place to watch a football game. No,
A
best.
bar or a restaurant?
It's I'd classify it more as a bar.
Combo?
Yeah, but I think it would be clear. But it is the best place I've ever been to watch a football game, ever.
Why? It's just like a lot of TVs. Like
So he has every game on its own TV, and every TV is like 80 to 100 inches minimum.
Wow. Yeah, that's nice. Good food.
Great food. He has every.
Reasonably priced drinks, even for Vegas.
What's that?
Reasonably priced drinks, even for Vegas.
You only pay for the drinks. The food's free during the games.
Really?
Only pay for your drinks, and your drinks are like regularly priced. And if you're there during the games, the food's free. And here's what it is: is
it a buffet?
No, I mean you go up and you can just order like whatever you want. So it's kind of like, imagine like it's served similar to like if you were at the stadium. Like you walk up to like the register, you order whatever you want, and they quick get it for you and give it to you. But you can go up as often as you'd like.
That's a good hustle.
And every home game, and let me rephrase that. Every team that's home, the menu reflects a dish from that area. So when the Eagles are home, he has cheesesteaks on the menu.
Wow.
When Kansas City's at home, he has barbecue on the menu. Whatever the home slate of games are, that's what it is.
This is a great idea by Batman.
The best place I've ever watched.
All right, BM. Okay. All right.
Best place I've ever watched a football game.
All right, BM.
I one time was in there and I counted 29 different teams' jerseys in his place. And I would have to assume that I saw all 32. I just missed the other 3 at that rate.
Nice. I like it.
And then I got a top 5 for today. It's in honor of a dynasty.
Okay.
I have the top 5 dynasties in the history of sports.
All right.
So this is the culmination.
Okay.
Number 5, UCLA basketball. With
John era.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Number 4, the San Antonio Spurs. Number 3, now Marcus, please calm down. The Chicago Bulls. Number 3, best dynasty of all time. Number 2, Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide football. And number 1, I don't think it's really possible to dispute this as the best dynasty in the history of all sports. The New England Patriots for the better part of 2 decades with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Get Bam out of there. I don't want him in there. Get him out of there. They gotta go. Because it's college football. And they don't, the ranking systems, no. I don't like it. I don't like college football being in there. Get them out of there. Until they figure out their ranking systems and a proper number 1, I don't want them in there. Get them out.
Can't do it.
They got to go. Over the Bulls? No way.
They're the 33rd NFL team.
No. The Bama, I was with you until you put Bama in there. Bama's out. They got to go.
Hold on. I'm pulling it up just to back it up right
There's
here.
Warriors in there over Bama.
No.
I don't want Bama in there.
So it goes 15 seasons, Saban at Bama.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
15 seasons. He has 7 championships. He has, that's just 1. He's been to 10 of them. So he makes two championship runs every 3 years.
Yeah, the numbers are there.
It's the Alabama Invitational.
Wait, hold on a second. I know you're not a wrestling guy, but you'll know this. Sorry, okay. We got to get in here.
What happened?
Big news out of WWE.
Okay.
Vince McMahon is stepping away from WWE amid the probe. Stephanie McMahon named interim CEO. I don't know. There's some allegations that Vince McMahon paid off a former employee, paid $3 million over the course of a couple years to cover up an affair. $3 million over 5 years after the two had an affair. The woman alleged that Vince paid her $1 million in advance and was expected to dish out the remaining $2 million in hush money over 5 years. This is a huge deal because, you know, even if you're not a wrestling person, everyone knows Vince McMahon and what he's meant to professional wrestling over the past 40 years.
He might be the single best person at putting on a show in sports.
Yeah. You know, he took
like the actual fan
no, you're right.
viewer experience.
He took something that was a novelty carnival act, a regional thing, and made it global. Now here's why he's out, because I'm sure people might be confused about this, because, like, you know, he's the founder of WWE. His dad built the company. So WWE back in the mid 2000s became a publicly traded company.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a board of directors. He is the chairman of the board, but as you know, he's still now, because it's a public traded company, he can be fired out of there. So he knows that. So I'm sure this was advised for him to step away from the rest of the board until they figure out what's going on. It was interesting. Stephanie McMahon was actually on a leave of absence because Triple H, Paul Levesque, her husband, had some heart issues. So he was away from the company for a while. He was staying home, and then when he went back to work, she needed a break, and she was stepping away. So she's now named interim CEO. This is wild. This might be the end of Vince McMahon with WWE. A guy who survived a lot, the steroid allegations in the early 90s. The company almost went bankrupt in the late 90s due to WCW and their surge. He's able to figure that out, get out of that, ends up buying WCW in 2001. Then the WWE's basically been a monopoly ever since. So this is wild news on that front. I know we don't really talk wrestling on here, but I just saw that come across and I had to get that out there, because this is not just a wrestling story. This is a major news story.
I mean, this is going to have reverberations across the entire sports world, not just wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the CEO of WWE, wrestling,
right.
But that, make no mistake, that if you think that he's not a power player in the world of sports as a whole.
Now, this is interesting. And by the way, this is from TMZ. He is voluntarily stepping away.
Yeah, I just read that.
Which tells you right there that he probably knows this is bad.
Yeah.
Like because Vince McMahon is a fighter. He's been fighting his entire life. So if he's at the point now where he's saying, yo, I'm gonna head out, then he probably knows that this is
not good.
Go his way.
That he should probably head out.
Wow. Yeah, this is crazy. And he's 76 years old. There's been a lot of whispers about things with him where you feel like maybe things are starting to pass him by a little bit by the way he does business and some of the storylines and things of that nature. But this is a big deal. This story's been out for about 2 days. It first leaked out about the idea that this woman existed and the money and stuff like that. My surprise is him stepping down voluntarily. That I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, if you think you're going to win, why would you walk away?
Right. And you're Vince McMahon. You're
Vince McMahon.
You're a billionaire. You have the best lawyers in the world. Your wife is a politician.
Mm-hmm.
You're a well-to-do family. You really are. But yeah, interesting stuff.
Opposite of
good. There's actually, real quick before we move on, the show Succession. A lot of people say that show is loosely based on the McMahons.
Succession. Oh, that's okay. I'm with you. I get that one in Severance
on the McMahons.
Yeah, I'm out on Succession. That was boring.
I love Succession.
I couldn't get. I mean, I tried to get into it, but
I love it. I love it.
I've about the dad who's like the media conglomerate or whatever. Yeah. I tried to. I couldn't do it.
Okay. Yeah. To each his own. But I think Devin told us about that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And then you went and had to go ruin it because you didn't realize that she didn't watch it.
Right. Yeah. I almost did that with Hustle the other day too. But yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I had to put that out there because that was obviously a major story.
I mean, I gave you the top 5, and I still disagree with you on Nick Saban. But
Yeah.
no, that was anytime breaking news comes across the ticker when it happens while we're still on air.
It doesn't happen to us a lot. Usually just after we go through something major happens. So I'm glad we were able to get that off while we were on here. We don't have to wait till Monday to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm about to go dive into before I get you out of here, before we get out of here, and I dive into the Skip Stephen A story. Marcus, these movies got to stop coming out. So they're making the horror Winnie the Pooh movie I told you about.
Yeah, we don't need that.
No
one asked for this. No one, like, who sat, like, here's the deal. It's a film meeting, right? You walk into, I've been in these pitch meetings before. You walk in, it's like 5 minutes. All right, guys, here's the deal. You know Winnie the Pooh, that lovable bear that doesn't wear pants? We're going to take him and turn him into a horror character. I'm looking at you, I'm saying, okay, I got one question. Why? Why are we doing that? Like, why? If you could give me a good answer to why, maybe we invest $100 million in this. Why are we doing this? Winnie the Pooh? Horror?
Second movie coming out.
What's next? Darkwing Duck?
No, how about a live action Pinocchio movie with Tom Hanks?
Don't need it. Don't need that either. I don't want cartoon Pinocchio.
It's live action.
Your nose growing. I can't believe there were parents in the 80s that actually tried to convince their kids their nose would grow if they told a lie. Because the 80s kids are built different. You know, we tested that theory. And my nose didn't grow, we went right to my parents like, yo, I lied to my teacher in school and he said my nose is going to grow. It's still the same size. So you're a liar. And your nose didn't grow either.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Here's one that caught my attention yesterday. Margot Robbie.
Who?
Isn't that her name? She's an actress. I may have pronounced her name wrong.
No, Margot. Is it Margot?
Yeah.
Margot. Yeah, I don't know who she is. That's fine.
And Ryan Gosling.
I know him.
They're starring in the Barbie movie.
The Barbie movie?
The Barbie movie. The
How
Barbie.
is it gonna work? And is this supposed to be for kids?
I don't think so, judging by some of the screenshots.
What? Like Barbie the doll?
Yes.
They're going to do an adult Barbie movie?
Why?
Again, why?
Hold on. I'm pulling the pictures up here. Hold on. Just give me a second. Okay, I got it right here. This is not what I expected to see yesterday when I hopped up here. Okay, let's see. Let me get this loaded up here. And this is Ryan Gosling as Ken. Obviously, he's going to
be Ken.
Yeah, he's going to be.
And who are the other characters?
They haven't announced it yet. Just said that it's going to be Ryan Gosling as Ken and Margot Robbie as Barbie. It's not what you wanted. It's not what you needed.
Maybe 30 years ago you do something like this because Barbie was huge, obviously, in the 70s, 80s, and a little bit 90s. Barbie is non-existent now. Nobody cares about Barbie anymore. No one plays with dolls anymore like that.
So, no. I mean, I don't want anything to do with this movie. There's a 0% chance I'm going to see it.
No. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to check out Horror Winnie the Pooh just because I'm curious to see what they're doing with this.
So, who do you want to see first? I have the pictures loaded on here. Who do you want to see first? You want to see Ken or Barbie?
Give me Ken. I mean, he looks like a Ken doll. That's wild. He looks just like a Ken doll. You see the pink. Okay, give me Barbie. Oh, I know who that is. I know her face. So, what is it rated? Do you know what's going to be rated?
They literally only released those screenshots and said summer 23 Barbie. That's all. There's nothing else to it besides that.
Maybe it's going to be this might be a cool idea. if they make it like one of those like parody type comedy, like making fun of Barbie, like one of those type of movies, that might be pretty cool. If they do that, like how silly and cheesy the Barbie and Ken thing was, maybe they could do something like that. But like if they're actually trying to do like a real movie,
apparently Will Ferrell's in the movie too.
Okay, so that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Is it Adam McKay?
It just says it has a very sizable cast with a lot of notable people, headlined by Will Ferrell.
Yeah, this is gonna be making like one of those like making fun of Barbie type of deals. It might be good. Might be funny.
So
I might be back in on that. I might go see Barbie. I need a trailer, but I might be in.
there's nothing like that. No trailers, none of that yet. Just the screenshots.
I mean, the Winnie the Pooh song could be creepy if you slow it down. Winnie the Pooh, where are you?
It's him and Hamlet going around, and they're serial killers.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Let's get out of here.
Well, is he wearing pants? Is he wearing like I can't take Winnie the Pooh seriously with a t-shirt on, going around killing people, no pants on.
Well, let's see. Is he wearing pants? Let me look at this screenshot. Oh my, this is horrifying. Oh, this is not going to be fun to watch. Marcus. Oh, they have an official trailer out for it.
The trailer?
There's a trailer. I'm not going to play it on this show because I can't verify that it's not uncut.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna check it out.
I'm real quick grabbing a screenshot of what appears to be their first victim.
Okay. Now, is he killing actual people or is he be killing like Piglet?
Oh, you ready?
Because Piglet should go. I hate
Piglet's his guy. Like that's
Piglet's his right hand?
Yes.
You're joking. Okay. So are these actual like grown ass men like dressing up as like are they doing it that way or these people think they're Winnie the Pooh and Piglet?
No, like this person, like it's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Like
I need to talk to this person. This is a wild idea.
Cause like
what if this person thinks about on a regular basis?
Cause like the character has hoofs for hands when they're holding a knife. Like it's
okay. And of course, is a white woman with huge breasts as a first victim.
Yeah. Well, I think that was she looked familiar.
Did she?
Yeah, she's I've seen where's she from? She's I've seen her in movies before. I would not say she's an A, maybe not even a B-list actress.
Yo, Piglet looks enormous.
He does.
Like, this is definitely a different variation of Piglet. Like Pooh was always husky, obviously, but Piglet is bigger than Pooh. What world are we living in? I wonder what like the creators of Winnie the Pooh think of this. But they had to sign off on this, right? Because
no,
they didn't.
No, because apparently whatever they're doing is just enough out of the realm of copyright infringement that it's fine.
Wow. Okay.
Because this is not. Why would Disney sign off on this? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they're highly upset over this. All right, this has been big Pooh talk. I think it's time for us to go. It's a lot of Pooh talk.
Oh, here it is. Apparently, about the setup. Oh, so who's Christopher Robin?
Christopher Robin was the guy who like oversaw the Pooh and everyone.
Okay, so Christopher Robin heads off to college. Pooh and Piglet feel abandoned and go on a murderous rampage after he left them with no food and water.
This is wild. This is so wild. I gotta see it.
They go back to their animal roots. They are no longer tame, and they are a vicious bear and pig who go around and try to find prey.
Okay. All right, I guess.
I'm going to read Skip and Stephen A.
All right. Mark, you're tweeting everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on social media.
Brad Marine Pod everywhere. BradMarine.com for the merch. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out Vans Jewelers, 332 York Road. Bro.
Yeah, YouTube. We got to celebrate a milestone, Marcus. We did something yesterday on our channel.
What do we do?
We hit 10,000 views on the YouTube channel yesterday.
Atta baby.
Hit 10,000 views. So here's to the first 10,000. Here's to another 10 million. What do you say?
Hey, I'm right there with you.
Love it.
All right, until next time, you can be with us, you be against us, you're never going to stop us. Late.